Hey everybody, Polish Hammer here. I'm going to go over something a little different today. Guess I'll be a little bit of a Vivosun fanboy. Haha, just kidding. I do have a lot of Vivosun fans. This one right here is about 6 years old. As you can see, it makes a little bit of noise. I just took this out of put this back in the service rather, after being out of service for about a year. Ran for 5 years straight, basically as an exhaust fan. It made a little bit more noise actually when I first put it back together. Got a piece of carbon filter over the top of it just as a dust screen. And as you can see, I needed to find some sort of a splitter, so made that out of a coffee can. Works okay for right now. Using it as an intake fan for these 3 tents. They're split here, fit into this tent, which has a inline fan in between here. Feeds into this tent that has a carbon filter out to the other Vivosun 4-inch fan. These are like a Z4 they call them now. I didn't used to call them that. These are just like the metal centrifugal inline fan, old-fashioned type one. And over here you have an actual splitter. And I gotta say, these AC Infinity duct fittings, connectors, transition, whatever you want to call them, are excellent. Some of the best ones I've found anywhere. Best prices too. They're seamless, so you don't have to seal them up with tape or anything to use them. And when you buy a Y from them, it's actually a Y and not like a straight pipe with a piece off to the side, which is definitely not equal airflow. So like this, we're getting more airflow that goes straight into this tent than I'm getting into this tent. So because the air has to make a corner. We're going to change that out. I got another one of those AC Infinities, and I actually bought another one of these fans. The reason I did that, rather than buy something a little more modern, one, I got a deal on it. It was only 48 bucks, which made it cheaper than any other 4-inch fan for this price that I could get. But these things only pull 75, 80 watts at full speed. I've never really measured what they do at low speed. This one's on full right now, and it can't keep up with the one that's running as an exhaust fan through 2 filters on the lowest speed. So this one's probably a little weak and needs to be replaced. But the point that I'm making, this one right here is 5 years old, and it's been running pretty much steady for 5 years, and it still will pull really hard through 2 filters at the same time. This one can't even keep up with it. It hardly makes any noise, and it's running at the lowest speed that it has. So these things are pretty durable, is kind of what I'm getting at. And they have enough power to keep pulling even when you put duct and filter on them, unlike some other fans which lose a lot of their airflow. The more pressure, the more load that you put on them, basically. So we're gonna look over here and see what we got for. Oh, okay. So 140 watts, 120 volts rather. Let's put it on the watt setting. 165 watts, and that's, I believe, at the highest setting. Check just to be sure it's supposed to be. Now let's go to the lowest setting. The lowest setting, 46.7, 6.9, about 47 watts. Like the highest setting again. Around 65 watts. It's really not that bad for a 200 watt fan that will last a long time. So as you can hear though, it makes a lot of noise, this one, when you turn it off. The other fan has been running this whole time. You can now maybe hear it, but it is a lot quieter than that one. We'll see what this one pulls. This one, at the lowest that it goes, and it's pulling 53 or so watts. Let's turn it all the way up. This one pulls a little pull more than that one. 75. That's what it's supposed to pull. So there's probably something wrong with this other fan. It's going to go down a little. That will happen with most motors. When you first turn them on, they'll pull a little bit more than when they get moving. 73 watts or so on full speed. The one that's working correctly. And if you look down here, this thing is sucking in all three of these like it wants to eat them through the filters. So more than all three of these tents need combined. I'm turning that down, put it back in there. I try to keep these all plugged into the same strip so I can turn them off. At some point I need to get a controller of some sort. Anyway, we're going to change this out. Put the new splitter in and install the new filter. So hang on and we'll be back. Managed to get this put back together. Sorry for the bright light. Had to switch out the hose because these AC Infinity splitters are all of 4 inches, and if you do not have a 4-inch hose, like truly 4-inch, it's not going to fit on there. I've actually heard that the AC Infinity hoses are only about 3.5 inches and don't fit on a lot of stuff. So I don't know how they would fit on their own, adapters. I'm not really sure, but anyway. Come out real good. Actually ran out of black hose, so I had to add on to the hose I had, which was fine. You basically screw a hose right into another hose and use some of this metal mastic tape. And basically make one hose. It's pretty easy to do. Got this automotive type high flow filter on here. It's a dry filter with no oil in it, just so you know. Be working really good. And it's been running a few minutes, both fans on low. We still have positive pressure in the big 2x4, positive pressure in the 3-foot by 20-inch tent, and the other tent is not super positive. So these two tents are connected by an inline fan in between, and have one carbon filter in this tent. So I'm pretty sure this inline fan is not able to keep up with it. This one's got plenty, and I can turn it up a little bit. We're at about 100 watts right now for both fans. So I could turn it up a little bit. As you can see, this thing is much quieter than it was. Even with both fans running, it's real quiet. I got a feeling that some of the noise I'm hearing is that older inline fan in there that I probably should replace, or possibly just get another splitter and feed both tents. But I don't know. I probably need a new inline, just because there's one carbon filter in this tent and this one needs to feed into there. Both would actually be good, I guess, but it's much better than it was, and a lot quieter than it was, and filtered now, so pretty happy. Like I said, I really do wish that we could get this one some positive pressure, so we're probably gonna have to work on getting a new inline fan and see how that works out. But other than that, it's working really good. And, just so you know, these centrifugal metal case holder style fans work pretty good. They're very reliable. They work well with large loads. This one is on low and it is able to empty 3 tents with no problem. So, and you know, that gives me plenty of leeway to turn it up if things get hot or get humid in here. And yeah, only 100 watts. It's really not that bad. It's like a light bulb in the old days. So we're gonna get to growing some weed in here. All right. Polish hammer out.